Hello, my name is Dana. I am the junior co-chair for the Mind Against Theater organization here on campus, and welcome to my dorm room. So spooky season is upon us, so usually for Mind Against we have a special club meeting where we do special effects makeup and acting makeup and stuff like that, like stage makeup. So because of, the time that we're living in, we can't do stuff like that in person, so we are all making little videos to teach you how to do some special effects makeup for Halloween time. I want to first start with a disclaimer. I have an idea of what I'm doing, but I am not a professional makeup artist by any means. I mean, I'm an English major, so but I did take a class last year in Funnies of Acting in which we actually did do a lot of makeup stuff, and my favorite one that we did was the old age makeup, which was super crazy to do. I'll show you. This is mine from last year. Yeah, it looked pretty rough. But Siobhan, the theater faculty, she taught us how to do old age makeup. And this year I actually just want to be an old lady for Halloween. I bought white hairspray and stuff too. So essentially that's what we're going to do today. Hopefully this isn't too crappy and you actually learn something. I don't know. We're just jumping into it. I have done just a base of Ben Nye cream foundation. I did buy this kit, this cream personal kit, specifically for theatrical uses for my acting class last semester. But you by no means have to have professional cream makeup. If you just want to put on a foundation, any foundation that you have. I'm going to show you how to do it with a professional cream makeup because it just works the best for me and that's how I learned to. But you can also use different things from your own makeup that would essentially work the exact same way. So yeah, I use this cream base foundation, and then I will also be using, so whatever you have, I'm using this Ben Nye eye pencil. You can use any kind of eye pencil. You can even use a cream eyebrow pencil. I know Elf sells them for $3, which I love, by the way. But yeah, I'm using this mostly, and then I also am using this cream contour palette from Ben Nye with the Ben Nye makeup brush. It's kind of a thin brush like that. Sorry, I am totally not a tutorial person. I will also be using the Ben Nye translucent powder with the little thingy it comes with, I don't know. And then I will also be using this sponge to blend, and then this nice little texture tool. You can use a regular sponge for this, or you can just kind of DIY do it yourself, but this helps with the texture at the end. Essentially, these 4 colors are the ones we are going to be using. You can use any, the cream usually blends better, but you can use a contour palette or so. But yeah, let's do it. So the first thing that we do is, like I said, get your face primed, I guess, with the Ben Nye or whatever foundation that you have, but don't put on powder yet because we are going to be blending a lot, and if powder's there, it's just going to make it stick and stay in the one place. So the first thing we're going to do is wrinkles, because old people have wrinkles, and that is basically the main thing that we're going to go for today. So taking your eye pencil or whatever kind of thin stick that you have, you're just going to mark out the main wrinkles of your face. So I'm going to start from the top of my forehead. I'm going to do this part and go down, just so we have cohesiveness. So for your forehead, you're going to want to start, I'm going to use a mirror because I'm looking in the camera right now, but follow along. You're going to start in the middle of your forehead, and if it helps, you can raise your forehead and see where those natural lines are. As you can see, I have some natural lines when I raise my forehead, and then you're just going to follow the curve of your forehead, making general lines. These lines do not have to be perfect by any means. And then I have a line right there. So you just kind of follow it. See, they're not straight lines, but they kind of follow the natural curve of your eyebrows when you raise your eyes. Make them a bit deeper in the middle or a bit thicker, and then have them taper off thinner towards the ends. So it looks like that. And yes, I know it looks very harsh right now, but we are going to blend. That is the whole purpose. So I'm doing 3 main lines, maybe a little extra one up here to fill up the space. but just kind of go based on like the natural curvature of your forehead. So you just have some general lines there. And then we are going to go into between the eyebrow area. So if you scrunch your eyebrows, you can see that there's 2 lines that are made right there. I'm just going to follow those 2 lines specifically. Yeah, just like that. I know it looks a little wonky. I might even, the thing about cream makeup is very easy to remove. So if I just like slide my finger across my greasy forehead, see that line came off? I'm just gonna move it up a little higher because it was kind of interfering with my between the eyebrow lines. Okay, doesn't look too bad. Kind of bring those up a little bit. Like I said, thicker in the middle and then tape them off a little thinner at the ends. So yeah, already looking old. All right, so now that we got the forehead kind of mapped out, we're going to go to more of the eye and nose area. So what we're going to do is kind of sync in our eyes. So what Siobhan told us to do is follow the natural line. If you have pretty deep set dark circles like me, it's going to be very easy for you. But if you don't, just kind of bring it from the inner corner of your eye down, meeting about right here above your cheek in the middle. Right? And then do the same thing from the outer corner of your eye. Bring it down, meet almost to that bottom point. So it kind of looks like a big old eye bag. Kind of see how I did that there? And then do the same thing on the other eye. Bringing it down on the natural sunkenness if you have that. Or if you have really perfect skin, I'm jealous, first of all. But then just like kind of follow and bring it down as far as you think it should go. Now in class we did it to be a bit more realistic, but for my purposes I kind of want it to be like in your face that I am an old person, and I am going to emphasize that. So this might be a bit more in your face, but if you want it to be a bit more subtle, I would recommend maybe making the lines thinner, more defined, stuff like that. Alright, so then around the nose, you have like smile lines that come in right here. What I'm gonna do is make this really awkward face, and then just follow the smile lines. We're kind of just emphasizing the deep set lines that we have already. So I want to be an actual old lady for Halloween, and my main inspiration is Sophia Petrillo from the Golden Girls. So if you know anything about the Golden Girls, you'll know that she's an icon and I always want to be her. So yeah, so around there. And then we'll work on the cheeks too. I think we can do a little bit of contour right here, just in the ends, but don't bring it all the way down. So do that a little bit just to sink in the cheeks. And then one thing that we learned to emphasize is that right here is your, I have really squishy cheeks, so right here is your cheekbone. And when you grow older, cheeks kind of sink in right here. So what we're going to do is do a mock shadow. So it's going to be kind of like a little triangle below your cheekbone, starting about right here. Just make a little curved line along where your cheekbone would be, and then you're going to hollow out that line by adding like a little, sort of like a triangle shape right there. Do you kind of see that? So then we're going to fill that in, and don't worry, we'll blend this out so it'll look a bit more natural later. But this is meant to be more of a shadow than a line. And I think you could actually do it a bit lower than I did. I did do that quite high. See how that's really uneven? This side is way too high. I did a little mess up. So easily that knife like wipes off. So we got those basic features. Might make this one a little bit more curvy. Alright, now we'll go on to the lower half of our face. So in the lower half of your face, you're really going to define those smile lines again. I got little like dimples almost. So I'm going to define those around my face, or my mouth mostly. Yeah. And then also, you can see right here, there's that little line. So we're gonna emphasize that, bring out the chin a bit more. And then kind of the same thing we did with the hollowed out cheeks. We're going to hollow out right here. Because it kind of because when you're old, like your jawline definition goes away. There we are. So you're gonna kind of like make it sag a little bit.
So yeah, hollow out right below your chin on either side.
And then I just draw a line curving out the jawline. Just so it looks a bit more saggy. Good, you can kind of see that. And then what we're going to do later with more of this is we're gonna just blend this down to the neck. If you really want to go that far, you can add like, oh, that didn't go. Oopsies, I gotta stop looking in the camera. You can add like lines going down the neck and then like follow your natural breaks in the skin, but we're not gonna worry about that. We're gonna mostly worry about the face. So what we're gonna do next is kind of just go over everything again. But you can keep using the pencil, but what I am probably going to do is go in with this again. So this is a bit darker brown on this side, and I think I'm going to go over all of my lines again just to make them more defined. And then I'm probably gonna fast forward this part. And you can do this too, and then I'm just using this really thin makeup brush that I showed you earlier at the beginning, just to go over all the lines and make them look more deeper and in depth or something like that. I don't know. But yeah. And then like if you want, you can blend them out. I'll show you how to blend them out once I'm done doing this. So fast forward. All right. So now we got most of the necessary components of the face. I outlined them pretty much darker, but then also there were a couple of details I forgot to tell you about that I remembered as I was going through them. So these frown lines are pretty important when it comes to like defining like the mouth a little bit. And then make sure that it kind of follows into the mouth. And also I forgot about crow's feet, which was actually a pretty important aspect. So there's also these smile lines, these ones right there. So essentially I do 3 just to follow like how they would actually look if I were like crinkling my face. See how they like kind of go up a little bit? You can do this on the other one too. It's kind of like winged eyeliner, but not at all. So you could leave it like this if you wanted it to be like more comical, but I think I'm gonna go for a bit more realistic look, so I'll probably blend most of this out. Also, when you get old, your lips start to shrink and wrinkle a little bit, just because the plumpness of your face goes away. So I am going to add some wrinkle lines to my lips. And you just do this by doing like vertical lines all the way around, kind of like a scarecrow, but not. Yeah, that's okay. All right. So yeah, like I said, we have the basic like outline of like the major wrinkles on the face. Just kind of mapping that out a little bit, making some of these lines more defined. Bring these lines down a little bit more. And then what we're going to do in order to make it look a bit more natural is blend out the lines. So you want to go probably not too hard with the blending, just so you make sure you keep all the definition. After I do my blending, I'll probably go over the main lines once again, but I just want to make sure that we have like a more natural blended out look, just to make the shadows look more like shadows and less like triangles on my cheeks there. So let's start with these on my cheeks. I just blend with my fingers. You can use a beauty blender or something like this if you want to, but I just find it's a lot easier to work with my fingers because then I can control a little bit easier. As you can see, I'm just lightly, barely brushing the edges of my skin. I'll do the same thing on this side here, see a bit better. You're just kind of blending out this color and then dragging it downwards where the natural shadow would fall if you had this kind of shadow. Bring it up, blend it down. Bring up the corners, blend it down. And then these little side things, I'm just gonna blend like this all the way up because these are just more like hollowing out your cheekbones a little bit more. So those lines are basically non-existent a little bit. Yeah, okay, we're getting somewhere. And then I have a paper towel right here, but you just wipe off your fingers. And then blending the lines is a bit more tricky, but essentially you don't want to mess with mostly the main part of your lines, but you just kind of want to take the edges, taper them out. And if you mess up, just take your finger, wipe it away, or if you're using non-cream base, just take a makeup wipe or micellar water or something on a paper towel. And then I just emphasize my eyelids to be a bit more hollowed in. Cool. And then do the same thing you did with these lines for your eye bags. Just gently dragging your finger over them to blend them out. You're gonna want to keep some lines, like these crow's feet, pretty defined. Wipe away any excess. Blend out any harshness that you don't want to be there. Do the same thing. I also added these nose lines a while ago, just to like add definition to the nose, because if the nose looks normal and everything else is all wrinkly, then it looks kind of awkward. So yeah, just add to the nose. You can even add, like I forgot, some more definition to the sides of your nose, kind of emphasizing the wrinkle aspect. And then drag those down into your smile lines a little bit. Blend, blend, blend. So I think the main takeaway from blending is to lightly blend the lines so you keep the definition of the line, but they're not so harsh. And then with shadow areas like this, you can just go for it with the blending. So once we have all these general lines down, next what we're going to focus on is the highlighting, because we have our deep set lines, but we also, with like the ridges, come the edges of the ridges, which need to be highlighted because they're more protruding, you know, anatomy or something. So what I'm going to do is take this palette, yes, and then we're going to take the lightest color. And if you don't have a palette like this, just use a concealer or something that is probably a shade or two lighter than your actual skin tone. And then dig it in there, kind of get the globs, and then you're going to go around your lines with highlights. So I'll show you how that looks right now. So you see, I'm going to go to the top deep set line. I'm going to highlight around the bottom and around the top. Kind of see how that emphasizes the line. And then I'll go back and blend so it looks a bit more natural with the rest, but I'm just gonna get all the lines done quick. All right, now that we have those highlights on, we're going to blend them just like we did with the dark lines. So just lightly with your finger, just take it and drag it towards the outside. Yeah, wrinkles. And then if you want to add some more definition to the outsides, where these like side wrinkles happen, because this is still part of the forehead. Blend, blend. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to do the rest of my highlighting. You kind of need a really steady hand because you are making some thin lines, but it doesn't have to be perfect by any means. So I'm going to do the rest of my highlighting and then we'll come back. All right, so I got the general highlighting done, except for this part. Whoopsie daisy. So what we're going to do next is just go through and blend all those highlights out a little bit. All right, so now we have the highlighting and shadows done. It looks a little harsh on camera right now, but that's because I'm going for that kind of harsh look. Or maybe I just don't know what I'm doing. Okay, once you have everything kind of blended out, then we're going to go in and add some texture. So I have this nice little like spongy brush. It's got like little aerated holes in it, and then it makes a good like texture builder on the face. So what I'm going to do first is dip one side into this dark brown. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Dip it into the dark brown, maybe mixing it with a little bit of the reds. Make it look really messy. And then we're just going to lightly dab it all over the face, just to create a skin texture. All right, once we got that texture all over the face, you're gonna use the other side and go into the white. And you're gonna add a white texture to balance out the dark texture. All right, so we are looking very, very old. At this point, we're kind of almost finished, but I would encourage you to go in and darken any spots that you see need darkening. Go in and do any final touches. I am going to go in and just emphasize some of these lines, make them a bit more pronounced. So I'll be right back. All right, I look like an old lady. So I think the last thing that we're gonna do is do those final finishing touches. Excuse me. So I'm gonna go in and do a little bit of lip color, just because I look a bit like a ghost right now. So just dab like a nice like neutral red on your lips. Maybe a bit on your cheeks. Just cause like, you know, old people are still living. They still have blood flowing, you know? Hopefully. That was kind of bad to say. Add a bit of red. And then the last thing that we're going to do for right now is powder. So I lost my translucent powder. Oh, here it is. Right in front of my face. So I have a Ben Nye translucent powder. If you have a powder, any kind of powder will work really. Just make sure it's see-through so it doesn't cover up your makeup. So you're gonna wanna do this when everything's done and you wanna just set everything in place. So I'm gonna go ahead and powder real quick. Just doing some final blending outs, and I think that I am looking pretty darn old. So what you can do, what I'm going to do for Halloween is I have this like temporary hair color that I'm just gonna spray in my roots or whatever. I'm not gonna do it now because I still have a day to do. And then I bought some like hair rollers that I'm gonna put in as well. And then I'm going to do like, I guess I could do it right now, but I'm gonna do like white eyebrows and stuff. And then I'm gonna do like granny sweaters and whatever. Oh yeah, okay, wait. Yeah, this is happening. If you put just like a concealer in your eyebrows, it makes them look white. Yeah, oh my god. Oh my god, I look so old. Ew. Ah! Everything's fine. But yeah, this is kind of the finished product, I suppose. It's a bit harsher than what I usually do or what I had done in the past, which is totally fine if you're going for a more intense look. If you're trying to look intentionally old, this is probably what you want to go for. But I think this is good for the stage too, just so you know you can like see it from the back row of the audience that like, oh yeah, that guy's old. So I hope this helped you guys. Yeah, this was just for fun. If you guys learned something cool, if you didn't watch it at all, hey. But yeah, this is my old age makeup. I look pretty whack. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and wash it off, and hopefully none of my residents see me. So, do a final look-see. I think it looks pretty good. I feel very old. I look like my grandma. Okay, anyways, yeah. I know I'm not the best teacher, but this is actually kind of fun for me. Good practice for Halloween night when I actually dress up as an old lady. So, yeah. Thank you for tuning in. Sad we don't have zombie prom. Sad we can't do this in person, but this is what we got for now. So, yeah. Bye.